What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out, and I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Fun times. I don't have as many tabs open tonight, But there's still some pretty important stuff going on. Overall, though, the world's not going to end tonight. Or at least it doesn't appear to. Now, I got 7 tabs open. I figured, well, why don't we make it an easy Tuesday night and just run through it and get done and run outside with the hair on fire. Tonight's a good night to do it because it's really wet outside and it's raining off and on. So maybe the rain would put the hairy fire back out. So we'll see. Well, depends if I feel froggy. Anyway, we'll jump right. Not into the intro. You've already seen that. How about the web browser? Yeah, one of those things. All right. Yeah, I don't have anything in particular. Well, to toot my own horn. No, I made that video earlier, and then I just couldn't take it anymore. So I went back in, and I tried and defeated the next mission, which is really a piece of cake. And tried and defeated the next mission. So now I'm on the last mission with that particular aircraft. So island defense, it's you got to go do a bunch of stuff. So I've already beat the first part of the mission once, and so the other part I don't think's really super hard. So we'll see. We will see. But now I get to go to the next aircraft and start at the bottom with that first mission. And I don't have to do this, but I want to do this because I want to get to use the different vehicles, the different types of weapons, and I want to get good at it before I go into multiplayer and look like a dumbass there. So, anywho, have a sip of tea. Oh, man. Alright. A Eurofighter Typhoon from Cyprus along with F-18s from USS Dwight D. Eisenhower bombed the Houthis. And this, I guess, was Monday evening. Says the U.S. and British armed forces confirmed on Monday evening that they had carried out new strikes against the Houthi rebels in Yemen, saying 8 targets had been hit, positions of the movement which continues its attacks on international shipping, especially in Eritrea Sea. Let me grab my glasses. That would help. In particular, an underground storage facility, missile sites, and an airspace surveillance facility of the Houthis were hit, Washington and London said in a joint press release. Australia, Bahrain, Canada, and the Netherlands provided support to the new military operation, the U.S. military said. These precision strikes are intended to reduce the ability of the Houthis to threaten global trade and the lives of innocent seafarers, according to the announcement. Earlier, the Yemeni news agency Saba, which is close to the Houthis, spoke of U.S.-British bombing in the capital Sana'a and in provinces of the country. According to the Al Jazeera TV network, also close to the Houthis, there were 4 strikes at the Al-Dalami air base north of the capital. Earlier yesterday, the Houthis claimed responsibility for missile strikes on a U.S. cargo ship, the Ocean Jazz, off the Gulf of Aden, which the Pentagon denied as false information. Since mid-November, the Houthis have launched dozens of missile and drone attacks against merchant ships they say are linked to Israel in a show of solidarity with Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Their attacks cause a serious problem in a maritime area key to world trade. The U.S., in some cases alongside Britain, has repeatedly bombed Houthi installations while relisting the rebel movement, which it says is backed by Iran, as a terrorist organization. The Houthis reiterated on Monday that they would continue to block Israeli ships from passing through the Red Sea until the war in Gaza Strip ends, and that they would retaliate against any attack against Yemen. So, we'll see what happens. Here's an attack in Iraq. You know, because I'm a poet. I just don't always show it. The U.S. military announced that it carried out proportionate airstrikes against Iranian-backed militants in Iraq to retaliate for recent attacks. That's so retarded. Recent attacks on American bases in the region. The latest airstrikes targeting Kataib, Hezbollah, and affiliated militia group. Damn, I can't speak now. Militia groups in Iraq. One second. Much better. Alright, let's try it again. The latest airstrikes targeting Kataib, Hezbollah, and affiliated militia groups in Iraq were launched just after midnight local time on Wednesday, the U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM, said in a statement. The strikes were aimed at Kataib Hezbollah's headquarters in Iraq, as well as storage and training facilities, and were intended to degrade the group's ability to mount drone and missile attacks. Today, at President Biden's direction, U.S. military forces conducted necessary and proportionate strikes on 3 facilities used by the Iranian-backed Kataib Hezbollah militia group and other Iran-affiliated groups in Iraq. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said in a statement, "These precision strikes are in direct response to a series of escalatory attacks against U.S. and coalition personnel in Iraq and Syria by Iranian-sponsored militias." Iranian-backed groups in Iraq and Yemen have launched dozens of attacks against U.S. forces in the region since the Israel-Hamas war began in October. The latest of those strikes, which the Pentagon called the largest since the conflict began, came when rockets and missiles were fired at the U.S. air base in western Iraq on Saturday, injuring several American troops. One Iraqi soldier stationed at the base was badly injured, according to the Pentagon. Austin said that he and Biden will not hesitate to take necessary action to defend U.S. forces and their allies in the region. We do not seek to escalate conflict in the region. We are fully prepared to take further measures to protect our people and our facilities. We call on these groups and their Iranian sponsors to immediately cease these attacks. Iraqi's government condemned a previous round of U.S. airstrikes against Kataib Hezbollah last month, calling them an unacceptable violation of Iraqi sovereignty. U.S. airstrikes in December killed 1 member of Baghdad's security forces and injured 18 people, including civilians, according to the Iraqi Prime Minister's office. Oh, man. Tea. Oh, man. Hezbollah bombarded the Meron base of the Israeli army with large number of rockets. A Lebanese Shiite movement, Hezbollah, said today that it targeted a military base in northern Israel for the second time in response to recent killings and attacks on civilians in Lebanon and Syria. In a statement, Hezbollah said it targeted the Meron base with a large number of missiles. This base had also been targeted by the Shiite movement on January 6 in retaliation for the blow attributed to Israel that killed the second in command of Hamas in Beirut. In recent weeks, Israel has been repeatedly accused of a series of strikes against Iranian officials and its allies who support Palestinian Hamas in Syria and Lebanon, raising concerns about the war spreading to Gaza. On Saturday, 13 people, including 5 advisors to Iran's Revolutionary Guards, were killed in Damascus in an airstrike attributed to Israel, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Tehran vowed to respond to this blow. On January 8, Hezbollah announced the death of Wissam Tawil, who was considered the commander of the Al-Radawan force, the Islamist movement's elite unit, another blow attributed to Israel. On January 2nd, Hamas second command Salih al-Aruri and 6 other Palestinian movement officials were killed in a drone strike attributed to Israel in southern suburb of Beirut, a stronghold of Hezbollah. After Hamas' unprecedented attack on Israel on October 7, exchanges of fire on the Israeli-Lebanese border are almost daily between the Israeli army and Hezbollah. The Shiite movement often announces that it's targeting Israeli army positions along the border in a show of support for the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Israel responds by bombing Hezbollah infrastructure and its fighters in border areas. Today, the number of people killed by Israeli strikes in southern Lebanon since the start of the war has exceeded 200, including 147 Hezbollah fighters, according to an AFP tally. In Israel, the authorities have announced the death of 9 soldiers and 6 civilians. So, apparently, Hamas has been fighting back. It says 21 Israeli soldiers tragically died in Gaza after Hamas ambush. According to new details from the IDF investigation, Hamas operatives fired an RPG rocket at a building while hiding in a nearby plantation. 2 buildings were trapped with about 20 mines. The RPG fire likely set off the mines, causing the buildings to collapse and killing 19 soldiers who were either in or near the buildings. At the same time, an IDF tank accompanying the infantry spotted the Hamas operatives and was about to return fire but failed. Hamas forces fired an anti-tank missile, hitting the tank and killing 2 more soldiers. The Hamas corps apparently fled after the attack. Earlier, the Israeli army announced that 3 more soldiers were killed in another attack in the southern Gaza Strip, a total of 24 casualties for the IDF in one day. And then Russia, they're fortifying St. Petersburg with S-300s after a recent drone strike. It says Russia is deploying S-300 air defense systems around St. Petersburg, Russian media reported in the last few hours. A resident in the area even reportedly recorded on video the deployment of the air defense system, specifically a vehicle carrying S-300s to stop traffic to maneuver. Russian media linked the deployment of the S-300 anti-aircraft systems to the attacks on the St. Petersburg oil terminal and the Novatek natural gas terminal in Ust-Luga. So, 2 articles left. Wow. It's a bit of an easier, news day. An alarming finding sounded the alarm in NATO. Norwegian Getha, whatever the hell that is. We are running out of time. German Ministry of Defense, we're going to war with Russia. Little cue of the dramatic music here. You just have to imagine it, because I ain't got nothing ready. After Germany, Sweden, the Baltic countries, and the head of NATO Military Commission, Admiral Rob Bauer, Bob Bauer, It was the turn of Norway. It was the best of times. Oh, and again, the German Minister of Defense to ask the Western nations to prepare for an imminent conflict with Russia. There is great concern in NATO. The concern is related to the fact that many assessments by NATO and Western analysts have been completely out of line with regard to the Russian army. The Norwegian Agita explains a little more specifically why this alarm has sounded the Atlantic Alliance. Germany must realize the danger of a military conflict with Russia, so Germany must arm itself, German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said once again on the ZDF television channel. We have to calculate that possibility. And when we calculate something, we must prepare for a danger that is unknown, whether it will come or not. It is necessary to arm ourselves for this eventuality, which is exactly what we are doing now together with our NATO allies, and this is necessary, said Minister Boris Pistorius. He also added that for this purpose, a German brigade should be present in the Baltic, which, according to him, will be in full combat readiness by 2027. Too late. Military experts estimate a period of several years that Russia will need to be able to start hostilities. Too late. These are estimates. No one knows for sure. Too late. I mean, it's already started, yo. And this time, it could be in 3 to 5 years. We have to equip ourselves, says Boris Pistorius. He's gonna equip himself with a strap-on, and he's gonna go out into the street and fight it out mano to mano. Oh shit. I'm so getting hot. I'm so getting hot. Yep. There it went. Earlier, Germany's Bild published classified information that Russia could attack NATO's eastern flank. Bild referred to a specific classified German armed forces document. The German Defense Ministry did not comment on the information, but later said that considering various scenarios, even if they're highly improbable, is part of the daily routine. Hi, sweetie. Norway has only a few years to build a defense capable of countering an aggressive Russia. Chief of Norwegian Armed Forces Chief of Staff Erik Kristoffersen, I don't know if it's any relation to Chris, said, there is a window now that will last maybe 1, 2, 3 strikes here. 3 more years where we will have to invest even more in a secure defense. It's the Joe Biden news, ladies and gentlemen. But we have a little time. I just wanted to clarify that. Let me be clear. We don't know what will happen to Russia in 3 years. It is important for us to face an uncertain and unpredictable world with a strong pimp hand. Oh, strong national defense. Pimp hand. Either or. And there's more Russia mongering and more Russia mongering. And oh my God, they're going to attack it. We're going to die. And yeah, there's lots of tears. Lots of tears. Alright, we'll calm down. Get all emotional. Holy cow, what did they do? U.S. Supreme Court allows Biden to dismantle Texas border fence. So, that begs the question. Is there really a such thing as states' rights? How about county rights? Because, as far as I know, the most powerful person in your local community, and even overriding the federal government is your county sheriff. In fact, they are the end-all, be-all of anything, as long as they've got the support of the people. That's all it takes. You know, I warn every time there's this back and forth about, can the federal government make people do this? And can the federal government make people do that? And the answer is no. The federal government has 2 jobs. 2 jobs. Are you ready for this? I hope you're ready for this. One of the jobs is to make sure that the states, right, and the county, because even though the county's got the biggest schlong, doesn't mean that the county can override your constitutional rights, your inalienable rights. You have those regardless, or irregardless if you want to piss off some grammar queens. The thing of it is as long as the Texas County Sheriff is remaining within the laws, the big brackets known as the Constitution, in which it was, the federal government can go fly a kite. But we have this opportunism problem in the United States. And people want to say side with the federal government when it's something they support. And they're like, oh yeah, make them. And then the following week, they're like, oh no, the state can't tell, or the federal government can't tell the state what to do. Well, you let them during the last fiasco. We have to stop doing that. Until we stop doing that, until we stop being opportunists, they are just going to lead the American public by the nose. Just is the way it is. This situation, I think in this particular situation, you need to have the bordering county sheriffs start calling up people and deputizing them. Governor Greg Abbott needs to call the Texas National Guard and deploy them. I don't know what else to say. Even the Supreme Court, nobody has the right to take away your constitutional rights. The federal government's got 2 jobs. Oh yeah, I never did say the second one. The first one's to protect your rights, your constitution, your constitutional inalienable rights from even the state or the county governments from stepping on them. And their second job is, I hope you're sitting down, is to protect the borders. That's it. That's their only 2 jobs, to make sure that nobody's screwing with you in a way they shouldn't be screwing with you, and to protect the damn borders. Only 2 jobs. From there, it goes to state and county. Again, county having the biggest schlong in the room. So, I don't know. That's the only thing I would know to do. County bring in a ton of people and deputize them. Send in the Texas National Guard. And protect the border. I have a feeling if you say no, but not no, but hell no to the federal agents, they're going to tuck tail and run. And then what? Think Biden's going to respond? I doubt it. It's pistachio ice cream night. He ain't giving that up. Then he's got a fall down the steps scheduled at about 9:14. So, crap his pants at 9:16 after he stops the convulsions from falling down the steps. 9:18. 500 cc's of Hunter's Special injected, and he's up and nothing's wrong. I don't know. My view of the current White House is not good, I must admit. Do you think, like, Biden walks into walls and it's horrible, I know. But if they don't want me making fun of it, they shouldn't put him as President of the United States of America, because he's going to get made fun of. Anyway, let's read some headlines. Let's light our hair on fire and run around outside and let the world know what we believe in. Who's with me? All right. Nobody? Damn. Make a brother go out there alone and do that all by himself. About to make a brother cry. Damn it, Mike. Just do the news. Damn. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whew. I say. Okay. Continuing on with the show. Gaza strikes seeding hate, says Burrell. Last Russian... oh, wait a minute. You guys can't see it. Last Russian restaurant closes in Washington. Tesla sales booming in Ukraine, says Le Figaro. Let's see. Germans told to prepare for another war with Russia. Lavrov debunks U.S. claim on Ukraine talks. Farmers block highways in France. Apple pays 1.2 billion ruble fine in Russia. Took a bite out of Apple. West faces $300 billion loss for seizing Russian assets, says RIA. Ocean freight rates skyrocketing, says Wall Street Journal. EU state calls for restrictions on Russian diplomats. Zelensky wants to strip citizenship from those with Russian passports. War with Lebanon, won't be a picnic for Israel, says Beirut. Putin and Xi love their country, says Trump. Russian strikes on Kiev and Kharkov, not retaliation for Donetsk, says Kremlin. EU court sides with sanctioned Russian billionaire. CIA recruiting on wrong social media platforms, says Kremlin. NATO signs $1.2 billion ammo deal. EU foreign ministers back Russian asset tax scheme, says Bloomberg. Lebanon wants Russia involved in foregoing Middle East peace. Trump presidency won't change anything, says Lavrov. EU states president fears for his security, says media. No direct threat from Russia, says NATO. White House warns of chain reaction on Ukraine aid. Ukrainians reveal reason for draft dodging, says Daily Beast. A known American mercenary killed by Russian forces in northeast Kharkiv. Ukrainian attack with Turkish-made RDS-40 automatic grenade launchers. I could use a couple of those. Russia bombed a convoy of frogs in the throat. Russia bombed a convoy of French Ministry of Defense officials in Kharkiv. It was receiving the bodies of French soldiers at the Foreign Legion. EU States FM receives Ukrainian death threat. Far-right party stripped of state funding. Apple fined over Hitler book. Zelensky wants to be like Putin, says the Kremlin. U.S. Supreme Court allows Biden to dismantle Texas... Oh, I said that one. Covered that one. U.S. Army fires trailblazing... they fire the trailblazing female officer, says media. EU won't seize Russia's assets, says Reuters. NATO on the run, 1.1 billion euro deal to buy 155 millimeter artillery ammunition. The Ukrainians retreat to the Zaluzhny line, 15 kilometers from the current front. Let's see. The CIA is trying to recruit double agents in Russia. They were stunned by the Prime Minister of Slovakia. Do you really believe that there is a war going on in Kiev? You've got to be kidding me. An alarming finding sounded the alarm in NATO. I said sounded. An alarming finding sounded the alarm in NATO. You just have the right enunciation and it's all okay. Norwegian Agita, we are running out of time. Oh, I read that article, but I had to do that again. That was fun. Why not? Zelensky in a very difficult situation, says the Kremlin. Yeah? IDF suffers its deadliest... Oh, covered that. Nothing can stop immigrants, says EU border chief. Turkish MPs approved new NATO expansion. And that is all of it, man. All of it. Nobody lost an eye. Not yet, anyway. Gonna get the hell out of here because it's Tuesday. And why the hell not? It's not really so much as cold, but it's rainy, it's nasty, it's ick. The dog's got to go out and track mud all over the floor again. Poke her in the nose. And then I'll get huffed at some point. Oh well, I'm going to get off here and get that all out of the way with so we can get the huffings over with for the evening. And maybe we'll get a little snuggle time. Maybe. I'm being ignored. Maybe I had to throw something. Throw it and hit the nose. I don't know. Maybe this help. I'll throw this. Right at the dog. I'm being ignored. Completely. Her eyes are open though. She's not that foolish. Uh-oh. Now she's turned. Totally getting a huff. I love picking on that thing. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here and continue to torture the dog because it's fun. And God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Maybe God really loves dogs and we won't. So anyway, I hope to see you then, if we make it. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.